Hi, this is Ron Gannett, and I hope you are enjoying our journey of walking uphill as we learn how to deal with adversity that comes into our lives. Today, I'd like to remind you about one of my favorite characters in the Bible, Daniel. When Daniel was placed into the Babylonian nation as a captive, he was blessed by God and able to accomplish many things. At the end of his book of prophecies, he has given this revelation, which I think reflects on the character of Daniel's life. It says, "Those who are wise will shine in the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness, like the stars in the heavens forever and ever." Daniel was able to shine the righteousness of God in his world and in the world to come forever because of the righteous choices he made, especially in adversity. You remember as a young man, Nebuchadnezzar took some of the young people out of Israel and made them his captives and tried to retrain them into the thinking and the ways and customs of his kingdom. Daniel was one of those men who had to submit himself to this kind of problematic lifestyle. Not only did he have to do that, but later on in his life, he was attacked by people who were jealous of his success, and it landed him in a lion's den where God preserved his life. In spite of all the stuff that went on, God positioned Daniel to be able to be the king's assistant, to interpret his dreams, and to bring prosperity to that nation. In fact, he was so powerful in his shining like a star in front of the kings and nobility. The king said this. He turned to Daniel and said, "Surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and the revealer of mysteries. For you are able to reveal this dream to me." He made the nation bow down to Daniel's God because Daniel, one simple man, in his adversity, was willing to shine like a star with the righteousness of God. I ask you, in your adversity, are you willing to shine like a star? I remember early in my ministry, a dear woman, her daughter was out riding a horse, and late in the afternoon, a storm came through and lightning struck her daughter on the horse. Immediately killed the horse, and they rushed the daughter off to the hospital thinking she might die. Finally, they saw very little activity in the brain, and so they pulled the plug on her. But she lived. She lived for 7 years. And for 7 years, they fed this dear girl through a stomach tube, and they basically cared for her until God took her home. In the middle of all that process with her daughter, her husband, who was an airplane pilot, was taking some executives up to some coal mines in the Kentucky, West Virginia area. And one day we received a call that the plane was missing. And eventually they found him dead. We were in the car waiting to walk to the graveside where all her family and different friends were waiting for her. And I remember Peggy turning to me in the car and saying, "You know, they all feel bad for me." But she says, "You know, I'm okay. God is good." And every time I would see Peggy after that in church, or I would see her at a social gathering, just the radiance of her devotion to Jesus Christ, her righteousness that was revealed in those sadnesses of her lives, she shined like a star before me. You know, the beauty of this story of Daniel is that the Lord told him, "Close the book, Daniel." He said, "You're going to go the way of the path of your life and you're going to die. But one day, Daniel, you're going to rise and you're going to enjoy the allotment of a wonderful inheritance that I have for you." My friends, not only do we shine now, but by God's grace, if we take these difficulties and use them to His glory, we can shine forevermore.